And basically, just trying to come up with as many positive ways as we can to get this information out, how we should get this information out to the public. Um, but I will continue. Number one, the Air Force will ensure directed energy weapons, DEW or DO, receive treatment distinct from conventional or nuclear weapons because of their characteristics, which may include speed of light delivery, range, and varied weapons effects. Do require a scalable approach to safety that is commensurate with the hazard potential of each weapon. A DO is a system using a beam of concentrated electromagnetic energy, including but not limited to lasers and high-power microwave systems, or atomic or subatomic particles, primarily as a direct means to kill, injure, disable, or temporarily incapacitate people or destroy, damage, or temporarily incapacitate property or material. 1.2 Acoustic weapons use sound across the entire frequency spectrum to kill, injure, disable, or temporarily incapacitate people. Acoustic weapons, although outside the joint definition of DEW, have effects and hazards more similar to DO than to conventional weapons. Acoustic weapons will follow the same safety policy as DOs. The Air Force will ensure protection of personnel, property, operational capability, and the environment from undue risk of damage or harm from DO, consistent with mission requirements. The Air Force will establish and conduct a safety program for DO to ensure the safe research, development, testing, operation, training, maintenance, storage, decommissioning, and disposal of these systems. That is a crazy statement that the Air Force released in 2011, because these weapons are being researched, developed, and tested on citizens non-consensually. So this safety report, for DO weapons is just almost just a blatant lie and criminal. But it is a good document just to show the existence of DO weapons, of directed energy weapon systems, and how dangerous they are, and how they had to release, these directives, to try and say that they were gonna, safeguard, people from being hurt from them, which is just not what's happening at all. I'm gonna go to another document. Let's see. Oh, this is the one that, and this is also on the PAX website. This is a great document. This is the Department of the Army. It's a FOIA requested document on directed energy weapons and microwave radiation. So this is from Mr. Donald Freeman. No, this is to Mr. Donald Freeman, confidential legal correspondence. So it says, okay, he's the one who submitted the Freedom of Information Act to get this information. And it says, your Freedom of Information Act request dated May 25th, 2006, the Department of the Army, Freedom of Information Privacy Act Division, for all documents pertaining to the microwave auditory effect, microwave hearing effect, Fry effect actually, and that's microwave hearing, artificial telepathy, and or any device, weapon which uses and or causes such effect, and any covert or undisclosed use of hypnosis. On September 5th, 2006, the DA FOIA PA Division referred a copy of your request to this office. Your request was received on September 11, 2006, and they sent him this information. Our letter of September 13, 2006, informing you of the search for records at another element of our command, and were unable to comply with the 20-day statutory time limit in processing your request. But they eventually sent him out this information. It's from Susan J. Butterfield, the Director, Freedom of Information Privacy Office, Investigative Records Repository. Bioeffects of selected non-lethal weapons. This addendum to the Non-Lethal Technologies Worldwide NGIC-1147-101-98 study addresses in summary some of the most often asked questions of non-lethal weapons technology, the physiological responses observed in clinical settings of the biophysical coupling and susceptibility of personnel to non-lethal effects weapons. These results identify and validate some aspects of maturing non-lethal technologies that may likely be encountered or used as non-lethal effectors in the future, including laser and other light phenomena, radio frequency directed energy, and aural bioeffects. So let's go down and see. I'll read this. The study of electromagnetic fields and their influence on biological systems is increasing rapidly. It's increasing very, very rapidly. This was in 2006 that was sent out, and the targeting people and experimenting on them with this stuff was in full swing. Much of this work is taking place because of health concerns. For example, increased concern has arisen regarding the effects of operator exposure to the electromagnetic fields associated with shortwave diathermy devices, high-power microwave ovens, radar systems, magnetic resonance imaging units, etc. In addition, much concern has arisen about extremely low frequency, 60 Hz power frequency, electric and magnetic fields that originate from high voltage transmission lines, industrial equipment, and residential appliances. Both occupational and residential long-term exposure have been the focus of epidemiological studies. The studies have suggested possible adverse effects on human health. Example, cancer, reproduction, etc. Laboratory research is still being pursued to identify possible mechanisms of interaction. However, other than thermal heating for microwave frequencies, there is no yet agreed upon mechanism of action. As a consequence, our knowledge base is developed entirely with phenomenological observations. Because of this fact, it is not possible to predict how non-thermal biological effects may differ from one exposure modality to another. It is especially difficult because of the small database for fast pulses to predict biological effects that might be associated with high-power pulses of extremely short duration. Let's go down and see incapacitating effect, microwave heating. Body heating to mimic a fever is the nature of the RF incapacitation. The objective is to provide heating in a very controlled way so that the body receives nearly uniform heating and no organs are damaged. Core temperatures approximately 41 degrees Celsius are considered to be adequate. At such temperature, a considerably changed demeanor will take place with the individual. Most people under fever conditions become much less aggressive. Some people may become more irritable. The subjective sensations produced by this buildup of heat are far more unpleasant than those accompanying fever. In hypothermia, all the effector processes are strained to the utmost, whereas in fever they are not. It is also possible that microwave hypothermia, even with a 1 degree Celsius increase in brain temperature, may disrupt working memory, thus resulting in disorientation. So let's go down. You can come to Terry's website, go to documents. It's a very, very important section. It just has a lot of evidence of how the different armed forces know about these weapons, known about them for a long time. I'll go to another document from a psychological magazine in 1974, where they show an example and a demonstration of voice to skull, which is turning voice and also modulating radio frequency to become a microwave pulse that can then be directed at the skull of a target or a survivor of these horrible atrocities. I'm going to read this section because it just sounds weird. Sounds weird and kind of sinister to me. Mechanism to produce the desired effects. This concept builds on about 40 years of experience with the heating effects of microwaves. Numerous studies have been performed on animals to identify characteristics of importance to the understanding of energy deposition in animals. As a result of the physics, the relationship between the size of the animal and the wavelength of the radio frequency energy is most important. In fact, the human exposure guidelines and radio frequency radiation are designed around knowledge of the differential absorptions as a function of frequency and body size. The challenge is to minimize the time to effect while causing no permanent injury to any organ or the total body, and to optimize the equipment function. The orientation of the incident energy with respect to the orientation of the animal is also important. So they're talking about experimenting on animals, but obviously at this point, they are researching and developing and using these weapons to torture and murder people all around the world. And so they don't really get into a lot of the human studies that they're obviously doing, and then it's gone far past that. A lot of target individuals believe that, and I do too. That they've just given almost somebody in every community these kind of weapons, ground weapons, and then they have directed energy weapon systems that they're just pulling people in to torture and research and develop mind control technologies or mind directed technologies, such as remote neural manipulation. They can manipulate emotion. Also, I don't know how you'd say this, but basically inject images into the visual space, into your visual space, and also, synthetic telepathy, which is, your inner voice. Basically what you would consider your inner voice, and then injecting either subliminal V2K or through some other method, injecting kind of things that would seem to be your own inner voice. It's incredible and satanic. This technology alone is a tool, but how it's been rolled out is just satanic and cult-like, and just really has no care for our species or innocent people all around the world. So I might not read. I'm already at like 30 minutes. Okay, guys. Yeah, just come to Terry's website and look at documents. I just kind of wanted to do a short 30-minute video on. He has a lot of important documents. This is an American Psychologist article from 1973 voice-to-skull demonstration. Artificial microwave voice-to-skull transmission was successfully demonstrated by researcher Dr. Joseph Sharp in 1973, announced at a seminar from the University of Utah in 1974, and in a journal American Psychologist in March 1975 issue article titled Microwaves and Behavior by Dr. Don Justison. Use your browsers. Okay. So this is a great article. I mean, they were already demonstrating voice to skull in 1973, and even I think before that. But I mean, think about it. Connect the dots. What are they doing with it now? If they were doing demonstrations of it in 1973, and the general public doesn't hear much about it. Voice to skull transmissions to people's heads. This is a demonstration of voice waveform. So they are basically, below image illustrates Dr. Joseph Sharp's voice to skull modulation method described above. The voice conversion to pulses as used in the successful demonstration of microwave voice to skull technology in 1973 by Dr. Joseph Sharp. It's not classified. His demonstration was not classified. But there's a voice waveform here, and then it's basically converted into radar-like microwave pulses to be beamed at the, I guess they tested it on animals a lot, but now they are doing it to people for years and years and years and not stopping, with chatterbox voices, with things recycled from actually things that they say real time, constantly pulsing in a microwave form towards the skull and the brain of targeted individuals like me, because I have voice to skull. I have 24-hour-a-day voice to skull, and it is horrendous and awful. Alright guys, I'm going to stop this at 30 minutes, but please just come check out that document section. Just check out Terry's website in general. Just want to do a short 30-minute video. I will see y'all soon. I'll be making a lot more videos this month, guys. God is behind us, and I'll see you on the next one.